How to overcome your fear of being judged by other people. You are way too concerned with the opinion of the wrong people. Let me tell you something. Most people don't care about you. Let me prove it to you. The last time you walked through a shopping mall or through a busy street, maybe today, maybe yesterday, I want you to remember random person number 47. Who are you talking about? Exactly! You don't remember anybody! Do you remember the last time you walked through a busy shopping street somewhere in public and somebody made a loud noise, somebody did something weird? How long did you actually pay attention to that person for? 3 seconds? And then you were back thinking about your business, thinking about your career, thinking about jiu-jitsu, thinking about dating, thinking about the conflict you had at work or with your family? How long do you actually pay attention to these things? You barely, because you're so concerned with your own stuff, and that's completely normal. If you approach a woman in person during the day in a bar, one of the greatest fears you have is getting judged by the other people. You don't want to fail, not just in front of her, in front of your mates, but in front of the random people. Here's a challenge that I have for you. The next time you're worried about somebody judging you, look that person in the eye. Actually look at that person. Is this who you want to be? Why do you care about the judgment of somebody whose judgment has no bearing on your life outcomes whatsoever? You should only care about the judgment of your close friends and family members, the people who actually know you, to the extent of whether or not you're a morally good person. Are you kind? Do you treat people well? That type of judgment you should care about. And you should care about the types of judgment of the people who are further ahead of you in business, in dating, in jiu-jitsu, in sports. Somebody who has a context-specific area of expertise. That judgment you should also care about regarding your skills, because usually they'll hold you to a higher standard and they will encourage you to let go of your bitch-ass excuses to actually achieve your goals. But getting judged by random people and then feeling bad about you, that is a very low frame of mind to come from. Let me tell you something. You don't have the choice in life to not get judged. The only choice you have is who you want to get judged by. Do you want to get judged by losers for doing slightly unusual things, like taking online dating serious, like putting yourself out there and approaching, like working on your personal development, like doing jiu-jitsu, like taking business serious? Or do you want to get judged by winners for not doing it? Because there is a group of people, of men and women, who have actually walked the talk, who have achieved what you want to achieve, who have found an amazing woman, who have developed an amazing dating life temporarily to choose the right person from. They will never judge you for doing these things. You know how normal people judge somebody who is really focused in business as obsessive? Alex Hormozy made a post about this the other day. He says, obsessed is what a low performer calls a high performer. Focused is what another high performer calls a high performer. Who do you want to get judged by in this life? It's not about not getting judged. Your brain is always going to worry to an extent, and having a little bit of a worry is perfectly fine. It makes you a calibrated person. It makes you a good member of society, because if you didn't get at all, then you wouldn't be able to operate smoothly in society and pay attention to norms and customs and be respectful. But understand that there's really only one rule that matters, and it's called the law. That's the only thing you got to follow. The rest is really mental masturbation. You can do whatever the you want to do as long as it doesn't interfere with anybody else's right to do the same. You can introduce yourself to people, and by the way, everybody gets rejections. Whether you approach somebody in a Starbucks, in a bar, during the day, it doesn't matter. Everybody gets rejections, and the only people who will laugh about you, who will judge you, are losers who've never done an approach in their lives. Anybody who puts themselves out there in sales, in business, in dating, in a jiu-jitsu competition, in a rock climbing competition will lose, will experience temporary defeat or failure or rejection. Completely normal. Now, you should never see your rejection as a failure, because You did it. The only thing you can control is the approach. Thank God she has free will. So you can't control the ultimate outcome. There's plenty of women who would never want to date the ginger. Fernanda doesn't understand that. She doesn't truly believe there's people in this world who wouldn't want to date the ginger. Right, babe? There's plenty of girls who don't like this. She's like, no, everyone likes gingers. Well, really not. You know the jokes. So how on earth am I going to judge myself for something that I cannot control? The only thing that I'm going to judge myself for is not taking control of the things that are actually within the realm of control for me, like doing the approach, like putting myself out there, like creating social flow, like creating systems and processes that will force me to take action over a consistent period of time until I found an amazing woman. So here's my invitation. Join the ranks of those people, it's exactly what Tony Robbins says, who walk the talk, who make their lives a masterpiece. But you can only do that if you not only leave your comfort zone, but you expand your comfort zone. Brad Yates, probably the best emotional freedom techniques teacher out there, look him up on YouTube, one of my first personal development teachers. He always said, you expand your comfort zone. If you do what is temporarily uncomfortable, eventually that will become part of your comfort zone. In the beginning, you can just walk around and introduce yourself to people. Hey, great to meet you. Nice to meet you. Go to networking events. And you know this feeling of getting stuck and almost like freezing, feeling like people judge you, and then you develop negative momentum, and then the negative thoughts take over you, and you're like, why am I even here? Why am I even doing this? This is fucking stupid. That is negative energy taking over your head. You believing negative thoughts. Do not believe these thoughts. The only thoughts that have power over you are the ones you choose to believe. It's extremely important that you understand that you need to put yourself in those environments and create positive momentum. In order to be able to do that, one of the most important building blocks is a self-empowering inner dialogue. You currently live a fair proportion of the time in an antagonistic relationship with yourself. You beat yourself up so much, so unnecessarily. You have to become your own best friend and not give a solitary about Susan's or Walter's opinion. Why Walter? Well, because Fernanda and I were watching Breaking Bad yesterday. Look at Walter White from Breaking Bad. Perfect example, actually. Not the guy who he becomes to be. I mean, you can criticize his character in a variety of different ways in terms of becoming narcissistic, maybe starting out with good intent, but eventually becoming totally self-centered and sacrificing everybody and everything else because he hasn't gotten over the trauma of selling his own company for $5K back in the day that now became a $1 billion company, and now he has ego issues and he lets everybody else suffer. So you can criticize him in a way. But if you look at him who he was initially, he was a good, kind, caring father who was a bit cucked and whipped at home. You are currently worried about somebody like that judging you. You've achieved things in your business, in your career, or a hobby of yours that make you worthy of respect from the right people, that make you worthy of respect from yourself. But none of the outward achievement matters if you don't give yourself the credit. You have to constantly empower yourself after every single approach. You have to have a positive dialogue. You have to tell yourself, oh, awesome, amazing, yeah, awesome, yeah, I'm unstoppable. Tony Robbins told the story, the biggest personal development coach in the entire world, by the way. He said that he would go on runs back in the day, early, where he was starting his career, and he would literally run for an hour and simply say, I'm unstoppable, I'm unstoppable, I'm unstoppable. Do that for an hour, eventually you believe it. Where do your thoughts come from? They are conditioned. What you believe about yourself, the negative things you believe about yourself, they aren't true. They are simply a story that you've told yourself so often that you eventually believed it. Tony Robbins says, if you tell a lie long enough, big enough, and often enough, and loud enough, you're eventually going to believe it. Who said that? Hitler. If you tell yourself something often enough, eventually you'll believe it. Same in the other way. If you question something often enough, even if it's positive things about your life, you will eventually begin to question that also. You need to shape your reality by shaping your internal dialogue and affirming the things that are already true and empowering about yourself. Tony Robbins says all of his success comes down to affirmations, incantations. It is really, truly so. Now, it doesn't mean standing in front of a mirror and affirming something that isn't true, but can you say, every day in every way I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way I'm getting better and better. I am unstoppable. That approach was awesome. Now you might say, well, David, that isn't very authentic now, is it? It's not very authentic to affirm these optimistic, positive things. It's a bit delusional, isn't it? You're affirming negative things about yourself all the time based on bad evidence also. You are affirming disempowering things about yourself on a daily basis and you're not even aware of it based on insufficient data. Now that's more authentic. Bro, I'm keeping it real. Yeah, real negative. Who says that being negative is more authentic than being positive? Just zoom out from Earth. You know these videos when they zoom out from Earth into different galaxies? Do you think people on Mars 27 and 27 galaxies away from here give a whether you live in a confident and happy way or in an insecure and depressed and anxious way? No, nobody cares, but you care and the people around you care. It is not more valid to be insecure than it is to be confident. You can choose to live in a truly confident manner in this world, but you have to reject the judgment of the wrong people. You don't even know how much freedom you can have in this world. You don't even know how awesome and connected you can feel to life, the universe, nature, other people, yourself. But you gotta put one foot in front of the other. That doesn't mean that you have to be able today to walk up to a woman and say, excuse me, you're really cute, I had to come and say hi, and open in a direct way. That is a little bit advanced. You might have to go through a little bit of progressive desensitization first. We've talked about that in other videos, but you can get there within a matter of weeks. You can get there within a matter of days. If you change your state intensely enough, you can even do that today without alcohol, without drugs. You can get there very quickly. But you have to put one foot in front of the other. Do things that are slightly unusual. Winners do what failures won't. Successful people do what failures won't. But the reason you're not making the Instagram story that all the women are going to react positively to of you talking to the camera, sharing some awesome things, is because you're worried about one person's judgment. Who are you worried about? Your mom? Your dad? Your sibling? This dude from high school? Who do you give a about? Be more selective with whose judgment you actually care about. And just understand, the right people will never negatively judge you for doing something positive. Never. It's just not going to happen. They want to see you win. Good friends want to see you win. Now, it's easy to find friends that you can joke around with or that you can tell negative news to. But what if you're actually winning? What if you have a massive win in business, your career, you're dating? You're like, I have clients who literally tell me, I have a client in London who runs a hedge fund who told me the other day, I went on this awesome date, but I don't want to tell my friends, they're going to get envious. Look at those friends. What's going on there? You need friends who want to see you win. You should be able to call up your friends and say, hey, I had this win. And their first reaction, even if they had a bit of a struggle themselves that day, should be f***ing awesome. I'm happy for you. Their default should be encouragement. If your male friends aren't encouraging you on your path to developing an epic temporary dating life for a couple of months to choose the right person from, if they aren't encouraging you in your business, your career, your health goals, if their default is not encouragement, they are not the right friends for you. That's important for you to understand. Get more top line volume. Get more quality dates. Use dating apps. Use Instagram. Use approaches. Go to the gym, join business masterminds. Fernando and I were just in France, met a bunch of really awesome guys who are truly crushing it in business. Go to these places. In our coaching program, we connect really, really, really high-performing men across the US, across Europe, Australia, everywhere. I have one client who just flew from London to Australia. They're going out meeting women together, really high-performing, really kind, really awesome guys. There are these programs out there. Go to the gym, talk to people, connect yourself to the world, and become way more selective with who you spend time with, because who you spend time with is who you become. Because if you're so worried that your friends are going to judge you, you'll never do the things that are necessary to achieve a certain outcome. Become very clear with who you want to be, what type of a man you truly want to be in 5 years, and then ask yourself, do the people that I'm spending time with right now align with that vision? Are they truly aligned? Are they helping me get there? Are they empowering me? Are they judging you for not taking action? Are they judging you for not doing the approach? Become way more selective with whose judgment you care about, and your entire life will change. Expand your comfort zone, my friend.